I'm here, I believe on November the 18th and the 19th, that the 6 high schools in the city are going to be open so that we can have discourse on the superintendent, or the new superintendent. What do you want to find, or what would you like in the new superintendent? That's November the 18th and 19th, coinciding with you opening all the schools on the 18th. The program is from 10:30 to 11:30, parents and community. 1:30 to 2:30 is the student councils. 3:30 to 4:30, the certified staff. 4:45, 5:45, support staff, and I think that evening, parents and community. The only problem is we have 7 high schools, not 6. And Ramsey will not be a part of this. And the reason given is that it is a feeder school and the students come from all over the district. Of course, Ramsey sits in a community, the South Side community, the Glen Iris community, the 5 Points community, and actually the part of the Redmont community. But we're just said, you know, kind of cut loose. But anyway, I understand that the students, faculty, and staff have been asked to go to the meeting closest to them, I assume, to where they live. Well, these things are taking place in the daytime. The student councils are meeting from 1:30 to 2:30. Now, are you all going to provide transportation? Or how do the students do it? Are they allowed to leave school to come to any school near them for that? And the same with the certified staff. That begins from 3:30 to 4:30. School is out at 3:30. I don't know a teacher in the city system that leaves the minute the bell rings. So they're kind of going to be hard pressed to get anywhere. And then same way with the support staff, 4:45 to 5:45.
We're upon selecting an interim superintendent and a superintendent. And I'm here to tell you that's the school board's decision, not the superintendent. Don't make a recommendation on that.
Absolutely.
That's your job. And I would encourage you, when you look at the interim superintendent, look at someone who's currently employed by the Birmingham School Board. And I told Mr. Collins earlier, if you go back and look at the history of the Birmingham school system, when we had interim superintendents, this school system soared. I remember when Geraldine Bell became the interim superintendent before Dr. Brown came. We had 50 schools that were next step state takeover that September. Geraldine Bell came in and asked if you would give me a chance. She went to every community, every social group, social and saving club, fraternity, neighborhood organization, and she got them involved. By the time Dr. Brown came here, most of those schools, I think we might have had 20 that was on caution, next to being clear. She did an outstanding job. Check the other interim superintendents we've had. They were all people who started in the classroom in Birmingham School District and worked their way up. Therefore, they knew the ills and they knew the good. They knew how each community operated. They knew the families, where the children came from. So they were able to better serve. We could no longer continue to go down the path that one size fit all. It doesn't. Our children have so many problems. They have many more than they had when I was on the school board. So I ask that you look first for your interim superintendent to the most qualified, not your favorite, that's going to do what you say or what the superintendent has instructed them to say, but someone who really cares, as Attorney Denby says. Secondly, when it comes to this permanent superintendent, I would say that you look inside. We've never given anybody inside of our system or our city or our county the opportunity to be our superintendent. And that's why we don't fare as well. It's difficult for a superintendent to come in here and know North Birmingham, West End, Roebuck, Southside. They don't know Smithfield, Titusville. They don't know the dynamics. Do you know the impact when you juggle principals and teachers from one place to the other? I've seen what's happened to my grandchildren while you juggle the teachers around. School year start, 3 weeks later you set them somewhere else. If we got the qualified staff we should have, that work is done prior to school opening. You might have some exceptions to the rule, but it appears to be the rule. Those children are affected by it, I'm telling you. The teachers are affected by it. So let's be a community, and let's work within the community. And the only thing I differ with Attorney Bender, the community ought to have a voice.
Absolutely.
We ought to have a voice.
Absolutely.
You asked us to vote for it. You know, our voice goes silent. Successful school districts, check them out. The ones we talk about all the time. They engage their citizens in helping to develop their school district. And I just ask that you listen to us and take heed to what we're saying, because you asked us to vote for it. And I always call myself a servant representative. I am absolutely nothing without the people who elect me. And I fight based upon their opinion, not Mary Moore's opinion. Because when I give myself up, I have to decrease, as ministers say, I decrease as the citizens increase. So thank you for the opportunity.
I'm just going to say it. I was told by someone that used to sit on the board to tell the truth. At some point, on these consent agenda items, we've had more contracts on these agenda items than we've had, and I've been coming to board meetings before I was in my position, and we're giving contracts out. I used to be a paraprofessional. I think it's a disgrace what was voted on. I think it was a lie. Wasn't the whole truth told? They're not the only group of employees that work 40 hours that are subbed to 115. I came to the work sessions and said, "You're patient." I got up and walked away because when the budget hearing was going on, I asked questions. And the questions that I asked are slowly creeping up. And I just wish I want you to listen to one of the questions. I said, there is a pending lawsuit. Is it in the budget? And if you remember, those of you that were here, what I was told, the Supreme Court sent it back to the judge. And I think it's amazing and dishonest for some people that making some of these decisions, some of the things that are coming up are dealing with those group of employees that worked in those positions. You're putting yourself in a financial situation because somebody's going to have to pay. At some point, you have to start listening and talking. Everything that we all say as one individual is not correct. The next superintendent cannot be thinking outside the box. I don't hear anybody, when they go to the hospital, say they want the person to do the surgery on them that didn't go to school. So why would all of a sudden, and these comments that are made throughout the country by the corporate reforms, the same language. If the person was on the agenda that I'm hearing going to be interim, it's amazing that person worked for the district, retired, and started working for Teach for America. We're just going to see if it comes up. But the thing that upset me the most is that if you make a decision, not all of you, I don't blame all of you, but the person, if you're vocal and you believe in something, when things go wrong, don't stand back and deny it. Because that old school board that was sitting here, it was some things I didn't agree with them on. But it's so many things that they said and the compassion that they had for the employees and for the students of this district. When I sit back and think about what's going on now, we at some point have to begin to have compassion for each other, and especially for the people that work directly with our students. Now let me get back to these contracts. I'm not just talking for fun, I'm just telling you the truth. Contracts are not in the, the board when you pass your budget. These positions are positions that should have been filled by somebody that worked in the district. You have custodians that are gonna work 40 hours. Mr. Collins, during the budget hearing, said, well, why don't we just do this? And nobody answered. We said, no, we don't want to do it. So I guess come January, those custodians that are working 40 hours cleaning our schools, that should be in a permanent, that are working permanent hours, but are not, for whatever reason, whoever makes the decisions, not to give them their permanent positions that they owe, those paraprofessionals, those cafeteria workers. If I'm lying, why would they be working 40 hours now? Think about what I'm saying. If we're compassionate about the employees, we shouldn't get to this point. Somebody should tell the truth. These are simple things. But I want you to think about something. If what I'm saying is wrong, Google this. I Googled this before I came. Nowhere in this country, when they're hiring a superintendent, does money get to be an object. In this Jefferson County area, in the state of Alabama, I have found a superintendent that makes less than $100,000. Birmingham schools, superintendent salaries go up each time we hire a new superintendent.
Sure does.
When we had more students, the superintendent didn't get paid that much money. But when it comes to the people that work directly with the students, don't take my word, just go back and look at some of the contracted items. Think about it. Nurses. That was the group that was cut. Some of you were on the board. Paraprofessionals. It was 120 of them cut. And this is the sad part. Don't listen to me. Watch what happened. The lawsuit. Ms. Parchman, am I lying? The Supreme Court. I'm not trying to be funny. These are things you need to talk about. Because at the end of the day, you may not like what I say, but the law is the law. The things that I'm telling you, I didn't run for school board. Listen to what I'm saying. If you did the paraprofessionals that's on here, on the auspice of Obamacare, I was here. You're not covering everybody. So you're going to have to pay for somebody. And you've already had some subs come talk to some board members about what's going on with them. We need to have a full conversation. Because at the end of the day, one thing about me that I will stand up and say, I don't have to be in this position, but I do care about people. If one of you got sick, I would be right there. You don't have to like me. I'm just going to try to do what's right because we all say we're Christians. But remember what I'm saying about this money. If you go back and read as board members, that's your role. The hiring of the superintendent, that's your role.
Absolutely.
But if you let the business folks who don't put their church in this school system continue to dictate, when I get a phone call that a board member is over on 280 having lunch with all the business people, but then when the community people come talk to some board members, they can't talk to them, that don't even make sense. But these things go on, but we don't want to tell the truth.
They ain't gonna tell.
If Obamacare is what we're going to follow the law, you have schools where you have permanent subs that are sitting there as teachers. They're not getting benefits. Now, what I just said, I'm pretty sure is hitting all of you because you know I'm telling the truth. So if I was wrong in your mind about the contracted out, about the paraprofessionals, that one group, I guess what I'm saying, that one group wouldn't have been targeted. But the citizens of Birmingham, we have to take our school system back. Because the people that came and took it over, state intervention, I haven't heard a board member yet say, where is Dr. Bice? Where is Dr. Bice?
He ain't coming.
You still under state intervention? That's something I just want you to think about. Time is ticking.
But I want to tell y'all, I got several calls over the week. I got out of my sick bed because I have a sinus infection. I had no intentions on coming out. I went to the veterans and did help some people fill out some paperwork, and so I decided to come on over here. I have had calls all week. I called my board person and I told her, I don't like getting calls like this on my personal phone because I know everybody got it. But I don't want to get calls about the school board stuff. But I know the people that live in my district, they go to school. the public schools. So I know that it is my concern. I would not work the way I work with Ms. Gardner if it was not a concern of mine. They are so worried about the temporary superintendent that y'all are going to put in place and the superintendent that y'all are going to choose. And I told them I would get a chance to try to speak to the ones that I could, and I promised them I wasn't coming today. They turned around, about 20 people called me. And they said, are you going down there? They don't even call me counselor. Are you going down there, Sheila? I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to go if you're going to constantly call my phone like this. So I'm here. They are concerned. They are very concerned about the temporary person, and they are concerned about the person who you're going to put in that spot. They like Dr. Contract. Dr. Contract been around so long, I don't even want to say he's been around there since I've been in school, but he's been around since I was in school. But he knows the ranks, he knows the schools, he knows the teachers. We've got to start putting all this personal stuff aside. I have to vote and make decisions just like y'all do. And I know 99% of the votes that I vote on in the city council, my vote don't belong to nobody but the citizens. I don't vote in groups because I know I'm a part of this. You go look back at the city council meeting and see. I don't vote like that. I vote for the constituents in the district and their main concern. And they really want Dr. Contract. I like Dr. Contract. The programs that I have had a chance to implement into the school system, he has helped me on. And the superintendent has helped me on. And they are going very well. We did not ask the school board for not one dime. I managed to whistle up some money and pull a couple of coattails, and their programs are running well. And one of them are not even one of them that we know is not even in my district. But I was able to work with Ms. Alexander in order to get it there and still, and I appreciate you for that. So I want to make sure that we have someone there that's going to represent the people for the superintendent. But I want y'all to give Dr. Contract a fair chance.
Absolutely.
Give him a fair chance.
Please.
And I have not talked to Dr. Contract. I feel like all of the hundreds of people that have messed up my phone, I got to take down the Sprint tomorrow. I felt like they the one that had already talked to him, so when no need of me called. So I'm getting ready to get her from, I'm not long-winded like Richard. But y'all just please look at what's going on. And I want y'all to work with me on getting somebody at Jackson Elementary School. I talked to you about that, Superintendent Witherspoon. I want that school occupied. I told you what you could put in there from the city. Now I've already talked to him. We got somebody that I think that we can get over there in there. And Center Street Middle School needs to be back. I'm talking about Washington is busting out the frame. And so is Hemp Hill. That school needs to open back up. You do not need 700 students in a school in order to keep that school open. There is enough students in both of those schools to open up Center Street back again once y'all finish fixing and working on Bush. But I just want you to keep that on your mind. You are keeping the grass cut at Jackson, but we want somebody in Jackson building. You know, I found someone. I know y'all y'all have anything to do with Illerton, but I found somebody to go in Illerton, and I found somebody to go in Jackson. So I'm doing all I can do to try to help. So I'm asking for y'all to listen to the citizens. Just this one time. This is a temporary position. They ain't asking for y'all to pull the moon out the sky. They're asking for y'all to put a person that's worthy, that live in Birmingham for a temporary position. And thank you so much for listening to me. And if any of y'all are veterans, happy Veterans Day.
She was just 8.
Ms. Tyson, Councilwoman Tyson, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.